Namaskar बच्चों. Welcome to the virtual class. Students, in the last episode, the unit of banking, we have seen about the commercial bank and the functions of commercial bank. And in the last episode, we have studied about the process of money creation. As I studied that the commercial banks act as a supplier of money in the economy. So on that way, we have seen how the commercial banks create money and how they supply money in the economy. And in that one, what we have seen that we have seen about the functions of commercial bank, how the commercial bank used to function in an economy with the guidelines of RBI, that is the Central Bank of India. And now in this episode, we will be studying about the central bank, that is the Reserve Bank of India in our country. So here we will study about the functions of RBI, meaning of RBI, and after studying about the functions of RBI, we will study that what are the instruments, that is the qualitative and quantitative instruments that the RBI, the central bank, has in its hand to control the commercial banks and the credit in the economy. So in this episode, we will study about these all things. So listen carefully. So first of all, we study about the RBI or the central bank. So central bank is the apex bank of a country. So as I told you that RBI, the Reserve Bank of India in our country, is the central bank, is the apex bank in our country. At the same way, all the countries in the world, they have their own central bank. And one more thing you have to note here, that every country will have only one central bank. As I said about the commercial banks, there may be numerous number of commercial banks functioning in that country. But when we talk about the central bank, the Reserve Bank, these central banks will be only one in each country. So they are the regulatory bodies of all these commercial banks in the economy. So as I told you that Reserve Bank of India is the central bank in our country, and apart from that, take an example of the Bank of England, the federal banking system in America, the federal bank, they are the central banks at England and America respectively. Likewise, all the countries have their own central bank, that is the apex bank. That means they are the bankers' bank. That means those banks which controls and regulates the other banks functioning in their economy. So apart from the controlling and the regulatory of the commercial banks, the RBI has many functions. So here, how we can define RBI? As I told you, RBI is the apex bank. It regulates the banking system in the country. It controls the credit control, and it also controls the supply of money in the country. So how the supply of money is being controlled and why the supply of money is being controlled? You know that whenever the economy is having a situation of inflation and deflation, at that time the commercial banks are regulated through the RBI to control the supply of money in the economy. That means whenever we have a situation of inflation, at that time the RBI requests or RBI regulates these commercial banks to contract the supply of money, so that the excess demand, the aggregate excess demand, can be shrunken. They may be lowered. At the same way, in the situation of deflation, here the commercial banks are being encouraged by the RBI to increase the supply of money in the economy. So these are some basic functions. So here we will study one by one what are the functions of RBI. And one more thing, apart from this function, even RBI manages the forex reserves. We have studied about the forex reserves in the earlier episodes, that is the foreign exchanges. So whatever the foreign exchanges are being kept in our country, been controlled by and managed by the RBI, the central bank. Okay students, listen carefully. Now we will look at the functions of RBI one by one. So here we will study detailedly the operational functions of Reserve Bank of India, that is our central bank. So first of all, here the first point is what? The RBI is being said as the bank of issuing notes. So in the functions of bank of issuing notes, what we can see that the currency notes, whatever the currency notes which are circulating in the economy, all these currency notes are being issued by the RBI. That is the note issuing bank. So apart from 1 rupee note and the coins, as we have studied in the earlier episode, that the 1 rupee note and the coins are being issued by the Ministry of Finance. And apart from all the other currency notes will be issued by the RBI only. So because of that, we call the RBI as the bank of issuing notes. So this is called currency authority function of the central bank. Actually, till the beginning of 20th century, the central bank was known as bank of issue. The notes issued by the central banks are an unlimited legal tender. So students, what we can see here that the RBI, the central bank, is having a monopoly on issuing the currency notes in an economy. So apart from these RBI, the central bank, no other bank or no any authority in our economy or in our country can issue the currency notes. So that is why it is being said that the RBI has been known as the authority of issuing notes, or earlier it is being called as what? Bank of notes. So now we will move to the second point. So here what we can see that the RBI act as the banker to the government. So students, the expenditure, the revenue which are being earned by the government through the way of taxation and all the things, they are being managed and controlled by the RBI. So here the RBI act as the bankers to the government, for the ruling government. So here the RBI act as the banker, the agents and the financial advisor to the government. So through this function, the expenditure made by the government in the economic development, all the expenditures are being financed by the RBI. And in case of the deficit financing, that means the situation where the budget expenditure will be more than the budget receipt. So we have studied about the budget receipt and budget expenditure in the budget chapter. So in that chapter, what we have seen that the expenditures, sometimes the expenditures of the government exceeds the receipt. So that brings the deficit financing. So this deficit financing is being financed by the RBI. Even RBI gives loan to the government. As an agent to the government, the RBI buys and sells securities on behalf of the government. And as an advisor to the government, it frames policies to regulate the money in the market. And even in the situation of when the revenue falls short of its expenditure, at that time government often seeks loan from the central bank. This is called deficit financing through borrowing from RBI. So here look at the meaning of deficit financing. So when the government expenditure exceeds the government revenue and the deficit is managed by borrowing from the RBI, it is called deficit financing by the borrowings from RBI. Now we'll see about the third function. That is, RBI act as bankers bank, and even it has a supervisory role. So when I'm telling that RBI act as the bankers bank, that means here we should know that apart from RBI, as told you that all the other banks, that is the commercial banks functioning in the economy, will be controlled and managed by the RBI. That is why the RBI is being called as what? Bankers bank. And not even the bankers bank, even the RBI has the role of supervisory. Through this supervisory power, the RBI used to regulate and control the activities of the commercial banks in the economy. And not only that, it controls the flow of money, the money creation process, the money created by the commercial banks. All the things are being controlled by the RBI through the instrument of qualitative and quantitative measures. So these measures are also being called as the monetary policy, the monetary policy of the RBI. So these monetary policy, the monetary steps are being taken by the RBI as the instrument to control the commercial banks in the economy. So what we can see that how the commercial bank act as a bankers to the bank, and even how they control the credit control or flow of money in the economy. Students, here the RBI controls the money flow and supply of money by the commercial banks through the way of two rate policy and two ratio policy. By the help of these two policies, through the way of quantitative tools as measure to control the credit control in the economy, the two rate policy, that is the bank rate and the repo rate. Through the way of bank rate and repo rate, the RBI very easily controls the credit control made by the commercial banks. So here the bank rates are what? The bank rates are those rate of interest offered on the loans given by the RBI to the commercial banks. Repo rate is also a rate of interest on the loans offered by the RBI to the commercial banks. So what is the difference between these two rates? So let's see that the bank rate and the repo rate, both are being decided by the RBI, and both the rates are the rate of interest on the loans offered by the RBI. But what is the difference? Only difference is what? Bank rates are those rate of interest on the loan offered by the RBI to the commercial banks without getting any kind of collaterals, that is the securities on the borrowings by the commercial bank. Whereas repo rates are the rate of interest on the loans offered by the RBI to the commercial bank with some collaterals, that is with having some sort of securities for the borrowings made by the commercial bank to the RBI. So this is what the basic difference between the bank rate and repo rate. And you know that the credit controls are being controlled through the way of these two rates, bank rate and the repo rates. So here we will see how by these ratios, the two interest rates, the RBI controls the credit control. Take example, if the economy is suffering from a situation of inflation. So at the time of inflation, you know that the bank, the RBI, the commercial bank used to contract the supply of money in the economy. Why? Because the inflation arises due to the excessive aggregate demand. So when the aggregate demand is more than the aggregate supply. So to reduce the aggregate demand, what we need to do? We need to withdraw the supply of money from the economy. We need to reduce the circulation of money in the economy. So by that, the demand can be contracted, the demand can be reduced. So by reducing the aggregate demand, we can very easily get the equilibrium stage where the AD will be equal to AS. That is, AD will be equal to AS means what? That is the equilibrium stage in the economy. So here, the RBI always try to bring the economy in the equilibrium stage. So that could be done only by reducing the money supply in the economy. So the money supply, the process of credit creation are being controlled by having a more rate of interest. So here at the situation of inflation, the bank rate and the repo rate will be increased by the RBI. So when these two rates are being increased, what will happen? The commercial banks will have to borrow the loans from RBI at a higher rate of interest. So directly here, the RBI controls the credit control, RBI controls the process of credit creation by raising its loan borrowing made by the commercial banks from the RBI. So that is a very important tool used by the RBI to control the credit creation in the economy. And vice versa, we can see in the deflation. So when there is a situation of deflation arises in the economy, where we can see that the aggregate supply is more than the aggregate demand. So to increase the aggregate demand, again the same process will be repeated, but in a opposite manner. That means what? Here the reversal process will be taken. What the reversal process here? So here when the RBI is fixing the repo rate and the bank rate, here both the rates will be decreased, so that the commercial banks can buy more money from the RBI such that they can give more credit to the customers or credit to the people in the economy. So this will increase the flow of money in the economy. So by this way, we can say that the RBI act as the banker to the bank. The students, the rate at which the central bank offers the short period loan to the commercial bank is called repo rate. But the rate at which the commercial banks are allowed to park their surplus fund with RBI is called reverse repo rate. So here in reverse repo rate, the commercial banks used to park their surplus fund with them. And apart from that, the central bank also provides the clearing house facility to the commercial bank. That is, it is a check clearing facility provided at one center to all the banks. Students, in the supervisory role, the RBI used to get the reports on the compliance made on the directives issued by the RBI. So here what the RBI used to do, here the RBI used to check whether the directives issued by the RBI on SLR and CRR. So these two tools, instruments, that is the SLR and CRR, are being used in the process of credit creation. The RBI used to check in regular interval where these directives issued by the RBI is being complied by the commercial banks, so that the RBI assures that the desired targeted are being achieved or not. So through the supervisory role, these commercial banks are being directly observed and controlled by the RBI in the credit creation through the way of SLR and CRR. Now we will move to the next point where we can see that RBI act as the lender of the last resort. So what do you mean by lender of the last resort? Here in this function, what we can see that the commercial bank, as I told you, we have numerous number of commercial banks functioning in the economy. So it is not necessary that all the banks are doing their businesses very well in the economy. There are some bad times, the bad businesses occurs in some commercial banks. So whenever these kind of commercial bank used to suffer from the financial crisis, so at that time the RBI used to give his helping hand to the commercial banks to cope with that situation, to cope with the bankrupt. So during the time of financial crisis by the commercial bank, the RBI comes forward and saves these commercial banks, such that the customers will not lose their confidence on the commercial banks, such that the commercial banks can be saved from the destruction. That is why the RBI is being called as the lender of the last resort. So at this situation, the RBI used to offer loans to such kind of commercial banks to cope with this financial crisis and to get the confidence of the people in the banking system. So that is why we call the RBI as the lender of the last resort. And moving ahead, we will see that RBI act as the custodian of foreign exchanges. As I told you, RBI control and manages the forex reserve, that is the foreign exchanges. Students, here the RBI not only manages the foreign exchanges, apart from that, the RBI controls and manages the foreign exchange rates through the way of managed floating. So in the rate of exchange, that is the rate of foreign exchange, we have seen that there are some time comes in the economy where the foreign exchange rates are being decided apart from the market force. As we have seen that the foreign exchange rates are being decided by this demand and supply force of foreign exchanges in the international money market. But sometimes these foreign exchange rates are being managed by the government through the RBI. So how it is being done? Through the way of managed floating. In managed floating, the rate of exchange rates are being determined, or it is being slightly affected by the decisions of the RBI, such that the stability of our foreign exchange rates are being maintained in the international money market. So that is why here the RBI is being said as the custodian of foreign reserves. Then the RBI act as the clearing house function. The students, here RBI functions as clearing house. So what is that function, clearing house? So whenever the payments are being made through the checks, when the transaction, as I told you that the banking transactions are banked, that means these transactions are being done through checks. Not only that, here all the banks are being said as one unit. They are considered as the one unit. When all these banks are considered as the one unit, and as I told you, all the commercial banks will have an account with RBI. So when all the operational commercial banks in the economy have their own account with RBI, at that time, take an example, if one bank is issuing a check of 10,000 rupees to another bank, that means the bank A issues a check of 10,000 rupees to be drawn with B, and again the bank B issues a check of rupees 15,000 to be drawn with bank A. So at that time, what will happen when these two banks are already having the account with RBI? At that time, RBI interface there and they act as the functions of clearing house. So here these two checks issued by the bank A and B will be cleared with the account maintained with RBI, that is the central bank. So by this we can say that here the RBI act as the clearing house. So when the RBI act as the clearing house, so by this function the requirement of cash, the transfer of cash from one bank to another bank is not required, because here all the transactions are banked through the checks. So it will also reduce the flow and management of cash in the economy. And at last we have one more point here. The RBI controls the credit, acts the function as controller of credit. So about the control of credit we have studied earlier, but even you have to know that how the RBI act as the controller of credit. So the credit creation, the money creation made by the commercial banks always being controlled by the RBI through the way of the CRR and SLR. So students, when the RBI controls the credit in the economy made by the RBI, you know that during the situation of inflation and deflation, so whenever the economy suffers from the inflation situation, at that time the RBI need to control the credit such that the excess AD can be brought down. The economy can be reached to the equilibrium stage. And in case of deflation situation, we could see the excessive supply, that is aggregate supply over the aggregate demand. The aggregate demand falls short in front of aggregate supply. So at that time, what the economy or the government or the RBI need to do, at that time we need to increase the money supply in the economy. So when we increase the supply of money in the economy, it will stimulate the people to buy more, demand more. When they buy more, when they demand more, the aggregate demand will get to the higher stage. That means, so it will reach to the equilibrium stage where we can see that the ED will be equal to AS. So here the RBI controls the credit created by the commercial banks through the way of SLR and CRR. So students, that is what the functions of RBI so far we have seen. So students, so by this you can very easily understand what are the functions of RBI. So what we have seen that the RBI act as the bank of issuing notes. They act as the banker to the government, bankers bank, and the supervisory role of RBI, lender of the last resort, and custodian of the foreign exchange reserves in the country. And it acts as the clearing house. It does the function of clearing houses. And at last, what is seen that RBI controls the credit in the economy. So students, these are the basic functions of RBI. Now we will see the basic difference between the central bank and the commercial bank. So students, so far we have very detailedly studied about the commercial banks and the central bank. So now we will see some basic differences between the commercial bank and the central bank. So students, look at the chart given here. So with this chart, we will try to understand the basic differences between these two banks. So students, look at the first point. Here we have central bank at left hand side and commercial bank at the right hand side. So in the first point, here the central bank, it is the apex bank, the bank of all banks in the country. Where the commercial bank functions under the control of the central bank. And then the central bank accepts deposits, advances, loans to the commercial banks. It does not deal with the general public. So students, here we can very easily say that as the functions of RBI and commercial banks are nearly same, both the banks used to accept the deposit and advance the loans, but here the central bank advances the loan to the commercial bank. They do not deal with the general people or the customer, but the commercial banks, they deal with the general public. It accepts a deposit and advances loans to the general public. Look at the third point here. The central bank regulates the supply of money besides being principal source of money supply in the economy, whereas the commercial bank only contributes to the supply of money by the way of credit creation. The fourth one, the central bank is a custodian of forex reserves of the country. It conducts managed floating to regulate exchange rate of the domestic currency, whereas the commercial bank is not a custodian of forex reserves of the country. However, it deals in the sale and purchase of foreign exchanges for the purpose of profit. In the fifth point, what we can see that the central bank is a note issuing authority. It is a currency authority of the country, whereas the commercial bank is not a note issuing authority, currency authority. And in the last point, what we can see, the central bank focuses on growth and stability of the economy, whereas the commercial bank focuses on profit maximization. So students, that is the basic difference between the commercial bank and the central bank. So students, based on today's study, I have given some homework and I hope you can do this homework very easily. And in case of any doubt, you can contact us. So note down the homework. Okay students, that's all for today. We will meet in the next episode with the concept of monetary policy of the central bank, or we'll study how the central bank controls the money supply in the economy. So students, until then, keep learning, stay safe, stay alert. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.